Hi cuties, besties, and ghosties. Hello, this is Muertera. Welcome to my channel, Muertera. I'm so excited to have you here. To all of my returning viewers, to my subscribers, love you so much. Thank you for coming along this ride with me. To my new friends, if this is your first time watching a video from mine, welcome. I'm excited to have you here. If you are looking for more content, love readings, prediction readings, things like that, please consider commenting, liking, subscribing. That really helps me grow my channel and helps us grow our little community. So today we are going to be asking about your person's thoughts and feelings surrounding the connection. We're going to look at oracles first. I've pre-shuffled some oracles, and then we'll get into the tarot and ask for both their thoughts and feelings. And then we will wrap up with some channeled messages and some advice for you. So pretty simple reading. I'm excited for it. I hope you're excited for it. If you have not done a pick a pile card reading before, you have 3 piles to choose from. We're going to have a section right after this where I'll play a singing bowl. You can kind of chill, feel into the energy of the piles. I'll explain the crystals and the decks that are out. And then all of the timestamps for the piles will be linked in the description. So yeah, let's get it. If you've watched this far, thank you. And I will either see you in your reading or I will see you in the pile selection. Okay. Bye. Hi cuties, welcome to your pile selection. So let's get into it. Our first pile is the YinYang Tarot. I think this is the white version, I'm pretty sure. These 2 decks on the end are the same, they're the same deck, but the cats are different colors. I don't know, I wanted them both. So there's a piece of aventurine on it. Aventurine is a really sweet stone. Really cultivates your adventurous spirit, helps you get out there, helps you be yourself. I love it. It's one of my favorite stones. And this is the white YinYang Tarot. And then in the middle we have the Mysterious Forest Tarot and a piece of red carnelian, which I've been just like drawn to recently. It's a stone about being kind of grounded and courageous and being able to take risks and like take curated risks for your highest good. I love it. I've been feeling it lately. And then on the right, we have our YinYang Tarot with the black cats. And then we have a piece of lapis on here. So lapis lazuli is a really great stone. It connects your, I always get this wrong, your head, your heart, and your throat. So basically like I think, I feel, and then I speak it. So really beautiful stone for kind of connecting the energies in your life. And I think pretty fitting for a thoughts and feelings reading. So these are our 3 piles. I'm going to play the singing bowl. And then if you're not sticking around for that, I'll see you in your reading. If not, let's get to it. Okay, cuties, hopefully you've had enough time to kind of tune into the piles. If you've chosen your pile, go ahead and click down in the description for the links to the timestamps, and I will see you in your reading. Okay, bye. Hi Pile Ones! If you picked this adventuring crystal and the white YinYang Tarot, this is your reading. I'm going to move this off to the side for now, and I'm going to pull out your oracles, which I have shuffled. Okay, so for your central energy, you have the Well, number 48, and whoop, these cards are flying out of my hands. 61, centering and truth. And then we have 2 energy cards as well. Let's get all these in frame. We have stop and we have love. I just heard stop, collaborate, and listen. Like the Vanilla Ice song. Yeah. On the left, so I'm going to do this. I don't think maybe I explain this every time. I'm almost stuttering right now. I feel like words aren't really like coming out that well. And I was feeling a little jumpy when I was doing the intro as well. So, yeah, this energy feels like a little bit, I don't know if thick is like the right way to talk about it, but we'll get into it. So we have on the left, the Starborn. I typically read in an A and B format, so your person will be on the left and you will be on the right. Some aspects could be mirrored. Just know that. This feels like it's a pile that might have some mirroring in it. And yeah, just take what resonates. We also have the pink bubble fairy in reverse and safety and silence. For person B, we have the Mother, and share tenderness. I'm hearing that like Mother Meghan Trainor song. And then we have some tears can't be shed. So it feels like there is a lot of emotion, but also a lot of confusion around emotion between you and your person. Like there are just some like contradictory energies, right? Like love and then stop, safety and silence, some tears can't be shed. Like I'm kind of seeing those as, I don't know, like, I feel like you two see yourself in each other. But you've never really like had like a very like deep conversation about it. It's kind of feels very interesting. Like I feel like your person and potentially you, because I do see some mirroring, in this connection right now, like your person is really focused inward, on trying to understand themselves, trying to understand the energies in this connection. It feels like, okay, so the well is about going very, very, very deep to find truth. Like if a well runs dry, then you could potentially just like keep digging deeper to reach water. And centering in truth has that same kind of like truthy search for it. I'm like looking at this adventuring, like I feel like your person is really like adventuring to a new place within themselves, and trying to figure out like how they actually feel. And I don't know that they really, like they have this energy of kind of seeing themselves as different, as almost like a psychonaut. I don't know if your person is somebody who like dabbles in hallucinogenics. Like I could see that for this person, kind of like has that searching energy to it. But there's also kind of like a murky feeling to your person where they feel like they're rather than finding water at the depths of the well, they've like found mud, and they're still trying to search like within themselves to gain clarity. And I think when it comes to this connection, they have a lot of confusion about what their feelings mean. Um, I feel like you've lit a spark within them, but they feel very clouded and they don't necessarily know what that means. And they've kind of taken a pause on it because I think this is a person who sees themselves as different and kind of like a half step to the left of center. It's not necessarily like their morals or values are different than other people necessarily. It's more like their way of being and their way of breathing. Just their core needs are just slightly different than the average person. And I think they feel a deep connection with you, but it's a little bit confusing to them because I feel like you may, in their eyes, be a little bit closer to what they consider normal. Like, I wonder a bit if this person is like neurodivergent, and maybe they like had a feeling like they weren't going to find somebody who could understand them, or they've really never felt like, I would say, like deep emotion for somebody. Like they have this like kind of like clouded view of what a connection would mean for them. Or maybe they had kind of like a preconceived notion of like what it would feel like, what it would be like. They seem like almost a person who gets like extremely fixated on something. And maybe they had like a fixation, like it doesn't feel controlling. Like it feels like they feel very comfortable when they fully defined everything. Like they need to understand everything about it. If they like somebody, they want to understand everything about them. If they get interested in a hobby, like they fall into a deep dark hole and like you don't see them for like 3 weeks because they're learning absolutely everything there is to know about that hobby. Like this person just feels like very, very technical. And like, yeah, I mean, it just like, it feels a bit like neurodivergence. Like they could be on the spectrum and like have that like drive to become like fascinated with things. And I think when it comes to their emotions, it's extremely hard. Like that's how they normally kind of process things. But emotions don't behave like that. And so it almost feels like they have this kind of like central awareness of like how they normally are, and they've like figured out how to kind of navigate life like that. But when it comes to feelings, like they're having a really hard time working through these new kind of emotions and ways of being where they just like don't have the coping mechanisms or like understanding of how to deal with it. And so I feel like they're like really struggling with that. It's not necessarily you. I want to be clear about that. Like it doesn't feel like it's you. It feels like they're kind of like the pink bubble fairy is kind of a card about like magical manifestation. Like I feel like this person can recognize the magic in what they're feeling, but they don't really understand it. And it doesn't have the same tangible quality that, say, like they had an obsession with trains, and they decided that they wanted to just like learn everything there was to know about how to engineer the best train, like what the best tracks are across the world. Like if they wanted to go ride on every single train in the world, like what that map would look like, you know, like I feel like this person like gets in deep. And so right now they're like really focused on this connection, but they're like in deep, like they're deep in the well, and they're really trying to figure out like what their truth is surrounding it. And because like this is a person who is most comfortable when they know everything about something, they're like really struggling with doing anything about it or saying anything about it because they don't know everything about it. It's like, I think this is just a relatively new emotion for this person. And if they have been in relationships before, I feel like it's been like more centered around like common interests, or just kind of like fit in their lifestyle, and not necessarily like a matter of convenience, but like in the logical brain, it just like really made sense. And this like is just different than what they've experienced before. I think they see themselves in you in a way that they weren't expecting, because they have this like view of you of being like very like nurturing. I think like more in touch with your emotions. I feel like you're trying to reach out to this person, and you're trying to like offer them tenderness and let them know that it's okay to open up. But they just see you as very similar but very different. And it again, it's like it's not in a bad way. It's just different, and different for them. Like you might be like, oh, this is just like perfectly normal, but like it's very different for them. Like normal, quote unquote, like what they see as normal. I keep on saying normal, but that's kind of like this person's home base to them just feels like very, very safe. Like, and some of the mirroring that's going on across this, like the two of you, I feel like you're both very protective of yourselves. Both these cards really talk about birth, like the mother births, right? And then the starborn is like birthed out of this egg into this cosmos. And so like I feel like both of you have a quality where you can bring things into the world. Like you may both be very creative in different ways. Like you may have kind of like a lot of side projects that you focus on. I feel like this person just looks at you and like kind of sees themselves in a way that they never really expected. And yeah, they just feel like they're in the mud about it. Like they haven't gotten clarity yet. I feel like this has been painful for you, and I think that they know that. I also think that communication isn't this person's strong point, and they are worried about saying the wrong thing and hurting you. And I think they're aware that like their silence on this and their kind of like avoidance and inability to really like bring this to the surface and come up for air and deal with it, they know that this is painful for you. And I feel like this little like light of love is growing within them and becoming brighter, and it's kind of like acting like a lighthouse or like a beacon, like for them to kind of like peer through the water and start to get clarity. But I feel like you both also have had like difficulties in your life with people kind of understanding you and supporting you. Um, and this person has some fear around their differentness and not being able to give you what you need. Like they kind of, I feel like they can speak very directly and almost harshly at times. Like that's another thing that I'm getting from this like safety and silence is like it's not all just pink bubble fairies with them sometimes. Like they can get overstimulated and like say things that maybe somebody else on the spectrum like would not even bat an eye and just be like whatever, shut up. Like but I think they're worried that like you are far more in tune with your emotions than them. I don't want to say more emotional because this person does have very deep feelings and emotions. They just process them and express them differently. And I think they are worried that like they're not going to come at you right or they're going to hurt you. Like, oh, I almost feel like I want to cry. Like this person has a very deep fear of that. And that's part of what's like giving them pause. Because they know that you've been hurt by people that should not have hurt you and in ways that like you shouldn't have been hurt. And they're just trying to figure out like how to kind of communicate with you in a way where they're not adding to that. Oh. This person's got a lot of like caring and gentle qualities and like they just know that like sometimes that doesn't come across. And again, like this is just a different connection than they really saw themselves in before. And I think it's forcing them to kind of like look at things in a new way in order to figure out like how they can do this in like a healthy way. So if this sounds like your pile, I think I've talked a lot about kind of what they're feeling right now, but yeah, we're going to move on to tarot. If this does not sound like your person, this is the point to hop off and move into a different pile. This person has kind of like a precious energy, like honestly. But I do think like they know that they can be quite cutting at times. And it doesn't come, it comes more from like a place of like feeling like they're not understood or feeling triggered by kind of like external stimulation than it does like from this person actually being cruel or cutting. And it feels like they don't know how to express themselves sometimes in the moment. And so it's almost like a learned behavior for them to be a little bit more silent. Because like they can't like pick up on cues as well as other people, but they're incredibly intelligent. So they know this about themselves. But they really don't want to like say something that's going to hurt you. And they're trying to kind of get clarity on what they want to say. So, okay, we're going to ask about thoughts and feelings on the bottom. So, Spirit, what can you tell me about pile one's person's thoughts? Yeah, the Four of Swords. Like, they're not at peace with this. Like, they're going internal and they're not finding, like, the peace they normally would. I'm going to leave the Nine of Pentacles kind of sideways here. With the Ten of Cups. In reverse. We have the Seven of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. Okay. And then I'm going to get back a deck for like both, even though I'm doing this. Okay. And then feelings. What is Palo One's person feeling when it comes to this connection? Judgment. And Six of Swords. The Moon. We're literally just missing the sun right now. Ah, that was too many cards, Spirit. I was feeling kind of like jumpy and like unable to talk at the beginning of this. Like, they're really anxious. And I don't get like an how do you want to go? I don't get like an overthinking sense. I don't know that this person is somebody who really like gets stuck in their thoughts like that. Like I feel like they're very like methodical in the way that they process things. But when it's something that's emotional, it becomes really difficult for them. So this connection with you has kind of like awakened something in this person. Again, that they're just like really having a hard time processing. And I feel like the Judgment card here is both like, Judgment talks about like integrating lessons from spiritual awakenings. I feel like this person is not necessarily going through like a spiritual awakening, but they are awakening to parts of themselves that they previously like didn't really realize were there. And also they have a fear of being judged for the way that they are. And I feel like they've been like rather protective of their heart and in relationships because of that. This Nine of Pentacles, like sideways. This is kind of the energy I was getting where both of you seem to have this like creative potential, but also like, I don't know, like you have side projects, you have hobbies, you have interests. Like you're not like a single dimensional human. And I feel like this side of this person like almost makes them like a little bit like aggressively independent. And for some people that might be like over independence. For others, like I think it might be just kind of like an aspect of this person's personality and just like who they are. It's not necessarily a coping mechanism. It is kind of that energy of them like needing to kind of like dive into something and disappearing for a bit. But this person is also like recognizing that sometimes when they do that, like it is a little bit of an avoidant behavior. And they're just having a hard time like accepting that maybe their goalpost is accepting's like not even the right word for it. It's like I feel like this person had like almost like a 20-step plan on what their life was going to look like, who their partner was going to be, like what what the next steps were. And their confusion around their emotions right now, and kind of that like well energy, like it's a lot like just kind of like falling into the moon card. And these are like opposing each other. So like they know that there's a lot of potential happiness that could happen in this connection, but they're just having a really hard time like getting clarity. Like even in this card, like this little kitty cat is like in the moon, and then the sun is like behind the moon. Like there's just a lot of things kind of like blocking their ability to see clearly right now. But they do have like a lot of hope surrounding this connection. I feel like they understand that the two of you have just kind of like a healing energy and connection with one another, because it seems like you've both like faced things in life that have been really difficult. I just get the sense that they're like really, like it's interesting that we have the Ace of Wands here and then we have the Eight of Wands reversed. It's like they have a lot of desire. They have a lot of passion for you, and you have this like little space in their heart that they didn't even know existed. But they're really like struggling with figuring out if they can give you like the type of reciprocal relationship that they think you deserve. And this person, like honestly, like they may have some distortions about who they are and who you're looking for. I feel like they are the type of person who typically like can kind of like cut through like a lot of things, and they're very logic based, and they see a lot. But when it comes to their emotions, like it's just kind of like brand new territory for them. And they're feeling like until they can resolve that and figure out like if they can be that person, they can't really move forward. Like this is that stop energy. Like yeah, I mean this person is just like taking a beat. Let's grab some channeled messages from them. See what they would say. Okay, what would Pile One's person say to them if they could be completely honest? No one sees me like you do. Yeah. I'm not ready to be honest yet. You see me and it scares me. Yeah. This person feels like they could like avoid emotions and build trains for the rest of their life. My thoughts of you consume me. I want to tell you everything, but I'm afraid. And I feel trapped. They don't feel trapped by you, by the way. Like, they feel trapped by their own emotions and their kind of like inability to process them and figure out what direction to go in. Yeah, they're in a pretty like stuck energy right now. I almost like want to pull. What did I put? I want to pull something from this deck. I don't know why. Yeah. Monsoon. So it always makes me think of it's a song called Monsoon by Amber Mark. Um, and it's about like profound loss. Like like the tears just won't stop. And I feel like this is just kind of like going along with that like moon and well energy. Like this person's kind of just like they're just in the thick of it and they really just like can't get out. Like it just feels like it keeps raining, keeps raining, keeps raining. Okay, let's get you some advice. I don't know what I want. I don't want that deck. Okay. Spirit, what advice do you have for our beautiful pile ones? New moon, fresh start, new beginnings. I feel like if you have creative projects, um, because I get that kind of like busy, like you're the mother, you kind of like create life. I feel like Spirit wants you to focus your time into that. Like this person is having a really, really hard time processing their emotions and figuring out what to do. And honestly, like from sitting in their energy, I don't know that they're gonna move anytime soon. And whatever's happened, like if anything has happened in this like connection where they've hurt you, or if you're like going through something yourself, because I feel like this monsoon energy is like mirrored across the pile as well. Like this person's also like worried about kind of like adding to your plate. And that's part of the worry about like reciprocity is like they want to be able to like give as much as they get. Spirit is saying like take care of yourself and like focus on the fresh things in your life and the new beginnings. Like if you're going through heartbreak, if you know, if this has been a really rough situation, channel that something into something like positive for yourself. Like focus on giving yourself the good life. This 9 of Pentacles. Like because you have the capacity to birth many great things in this world. And I think like the tears that you're not shedding are almost like holding you back right now. And spirit is saying like there's kind of like a twofold thing, like rest and process those things. Like eventually you have to let the tears fall. Otherwise, like this monsoon just fills up energy within you. And take that sadness, heartbreak, like if you're dealing with something like that, like give yourself a fresh start. Like give yourself a new beginning. It doesn't mean like you have to jump into something else, like, but give yourself like a little baby to focus on, you know? little side hustle, side project, or like develop a talent. Like I'm getting that for some of you. Like if you've been wanting to take like art lessons or something, or like voice lessons, go do that. It'll really help you like process and actually like get a lot of your own emotions out. So this is all I have for you today. Thank you for hanging out with me. And I'm so grateful that you're here. I hope you're doing well. If you resonated with this reading, please like, comment, subscribe. That really helps me grow my channel. And above all, keep your little heart safe. And let me know if you're starting a project. And I will see you in another reading. Okay, bye. Hi, cuties. If you chose this red carnelian and pile 2 and what, the magical mystical forest tarot, did I just forget what it's called? Probably. I don't know. Okay, I feel kind of bursting. I don't know. This pile has an interesting energy. This is your reading. That was, wow, a lot of words. That was a lot of words. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to pull the oracles that I shuffled for your pile. I'm going to do A, B type format, and we'll do a quick energy check before we move on to tarot. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Okay, cool. So we have 2 energies here. We have cutting through and creative power. I don't know. I feel like they need to be flipped. Okay. And that's number 1 and number 21. And then we also have comfort, as how your person is feeling about this connection. We're going to do person A is your person B is you. So we have the 1 as your person, and then body in reverse, and meet cute. And then we have for you the riddle and cosmic exploration, number 28, and mirrors reflect many things. So something that's like really interesting. I feel like there's like a dichotomy in this pile where there is mirroring, but it's like the 2 of you seem to be like exploring like different parts of yourself right now. For some reason, like the 1, like the person you're asking about, seems like they are more focused on exploring like their external reality, and you seem like you are more focused on kind of like unraveling the mysteries within. It's very interesting, like the central energy here like gives me some like mad like magician vibes. And I feel like there's like this person feels like to a certain extent like they manifested you, and you bring them a lot of comfort, but it feels like some sort of like creature comfort where they're more focused on the external parts of you, and they have a really hard time like seeing kind of the true inner you. It feels like they're used to like radiating out and kind of just like attracting things to themselves. Like maybe this is like a pretty charismatic person. And they haven't really like the body can talk about the struggle between like external expectations of you and your internal expectations of yourself, like what your body should look like. Um, and I feel like this person, like, I know that there's like a light in the middle of this one card, but I just feel like for them, it almost feels like a little bit of a dark hole. And it feels like they've been trying to like fill that hole with external things. Like if they find, you know, like the relationship story that is for the ages. Like this like meet cute energy with the comfort just gives me like they want kind of like the perfect life. And I don't think that's what you want. Like not in that way. Like I feel like you just have more, you have more depth to you because you are looking within. And you see like the reflection of yourself in this connection. And I think you've gone within and tried to figure out like why you're feeling this way. Because this is supposed to be more about this other person's feelings, but I feel like this is what they're not really like getting from you. Like they have this feeling like you should be focusing on them. Like this is the perfect relationship. This is very comfortable. Like maybe they got like a rockin' bod, or you know, they're very attractive. Like they're feeling like they should be the one. And I feel like from your end, like you kind of have like this energy of almost like exploration of inner work, of kind of constantly looking at yourself in relation to other people and trying to improve yourself. And you seem to have like a higher desire or higher purpose than just, I want to go to work, I want to have a golden retriever, I want a white picket fence. Like this person has a very hard time looking within. They just have this energy that is radiating out. And like this creative power, like combined with cutting through, like it gives me vibes that like this person does have a lot of charisma, and they're kind of used to projecting that into the world and almost like using it to avoid having to go within. Like they just seem like very, very comfortable where they're at. Like and I think you've reflected things back to them as well that they're not looking at. Like I'm actually having kind of like a really hard time channeling this person, and it was interesting because when I pulled out the cards, like I got this like burst of energy too. I feel like this person's like no 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 no, like flash out, like let me distract you, like don't sit in this. Like I don't actually want you to see this. Like there's gonna be like no light shown on me. Like look at me, like I radiate light. Um, and it almost feels like they're trying to like use this light to almost like blind you a little bit too, and that might be part of the reason why like you're showing up as the riddle, is like because it kind of looks like this body too, like they're almost like using this this energy that they have to kind of like blind you from the truth a little bit. very interesting. If this sounds like your person, let's get into tarot. If this does not sound like your person, definitely choose another pile. This is an interesting energy. I'm curious to see what tarot cards are going to show up, because they're a little resistant to sharing, my friends. Like, they're in their comfort zone and they're like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want you poking around in my business. I don't want to look in any mirrors right now. Like, I want to focus on really sweet, cute aspects of life. I want to work. I want to go to the gym. I want to make a good living. Like, I want that American dream. And, like, I've got the drive to do it. But, like, I'm totally going to focus on that and not much else. Okay. Spirit. We're going to do thoughts and feelings on the bottom. How is pile 2's person thinking about them? Ooh. The World in reverse. 2 of Pentacles in reverse. The 7 of Wands in reverse. The Devil and the 3 of Pentacles. Interesting. For some of you, you may have like recently ended it with this person. Yeah, I feel like if that's the case and your person has some like unhealthy coping mechanisms, like they're falling deep into them. I think that's part of like the comfort energy. Let's look at their feelings. Spirit, how is pile 2's person's, how are they feeling? The Lovers. The Page of Swords in reverse. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. They're feeling like their communication like is like falling on dead ears right now. You have the Ace of Wands and then the 5 of Wands. Like there's quite a bit of conflict in this person's environment right now, and I think a lot of it is like kind of self-imposed. I think they're resistant to this ending. Whether that was like, I'm getting vibes that this could have been like a situationship, or I don't see like a lot of signs of a third party situation, but like maybe this person wanted to keep their options open. If it is a third party situation, like you're gonna know about it, because this person is like not, they don't seem deceptive. They just like what they like and they want what they want. And I think for them that means like really sticking like in their comfort zone. And I think it's like they're not really looking to unravel the mystery within themselves. They're not really looking to like unravel the mystery within anybody else. Like it feels like they're like, I'm here for a long time and a good time. Like, and I want that to be my life, and I kind of want you to like come along with that. And with the World in reverse and the Lovers, like I feel like this person is like really resistant to change, especially when it comes to their romantic life. Like they really want to be that person who like swoops in and kind of saves the day. But I think the actual reality of this person doesn't really line up with that. I'm like thinking about these cards that were coming out too, with the like creative power and the cutting through. I kind of feel like this is the type of person where like their words have a huge potential to build a world for themselves and also tear it down. And it's like very interesting when you look at these two cards too, like they both look pretty chaotic. Like creative power can be very ungrounded, sky above, sky below. And cutting through is fire above, thunder below. Like they're both like very intense energies, and I feel like this person wants to build up that comfortable life, but when it's challenged a little bit, or when they see things that they don't like, or somebody around them like points out something that they don't like, it's not really a negotiation with this person. It seems like they're very like cut and dry. We got like the Page of Swords reversed in their feelings, and Two of Pentacles in their thoughts. It's like, it feels to me like if you say something to this person like that points out a flaw within them or something that you'd like them to work on, I feel like their tendency is just to like either brush it off or respond pretty negatively. I think when it comes to your connection, like they have this like split feeling about it, where they see the potential to build something real with you. But on one hand, they have like, they've got the Lovers and the Page of Swords in reverse. Like they're not willing to actually like have that conversation or change. Like the Lovers can be about a decision too. And then we have the Ace of Wands and the Five of Wands on the other side. Like they've got a ton of desire as well, but they're extremely defensive. And so when you're dealing with this type of person, like they almost, it feels like they've just like given up. Like, which like, let's be real, is like pretty shitty. This person's energy is not really fun. I'm really sorry that you're dealing with this, because I feel like when their fire comes out for you, like it is just, it's unbounded in both directions. Like there's not a lot of like mitigating energy to kind of like calm it down. We've got both the Five of Wands and the Seven of Wands in reverse here. Like I feel like this is a type of person who does not accept challenges and reacts really, really strongly. And for some of you, that might be like even minimizing the reactions, like when you challenge them to grow. It feels like this person is just like stuck at the beginning foundations, and they're unwilling to take a look at themselves and actually figure out what they would need to change in order to grow. Like they seem a little bit stunted. I feel like this is like turning into a little bit more of kind of like an analysis of this person's personality, but like I don't want to get too far into the channeling of their thoughts and feelings, because like they're not like that like positive, and I don't like, I don't think that this is a reflection of you. I think you are growing, and this person is absolutely terrified of growth, and they don't want to look at that. And it feels like they're fighting tooth and nail to not actually have to look within themselves and grow at all. And their foundation is so shaky, but like they don't want to see it. Like they're thinking about themselves with like this dope foundation, like I can build anything on top of this. You know, I got like my creative power, I got this, but like their real foundation is like Two of Pentacles reversed. They're just like constantly dropping pentacles and just like trying to pick other ones up and juggling them. It's not a very like healthy attitude towards really like anything in life, but I think this person just has no desire to actually grow as a person. I'm gonna pull channeled messages from them, but if it starts coming out weird, and I'm gonna cut them off, because again, like this person's feelings are like really erratic. Spirit, if pile 2 could be completely honest, what would they say? I just heard I feel like shit. That is not a card I have in this deck, but with that devil energy and the Ace of Wands beneath it, that's... I feel like they have some unhealthy coping mechanisms. And I just dropped like half the deck. Woo! To say the least. Okay. Spirit, what would pile 2's person say to them if they could be completely honest? I've moved on. This is why I don't want to channel messages from this person. What would they say? You are so special to me. I feel like we are going to get like very conflicting messages from this person, because I need to find myself. Like, I think they know this on some level, but they're like in this Eight of Swords energy, so they're not trying to. Like, they're trying to bury themselves in whatever they can to not look within and to stay comfortable. And honestly, like, that might mean a different connection for them. Because, like, they recognize that you're special, but I think they're really terrified of who they truly are, and they don't want to look deep enough to actually change. I'm ashamed at how I treated you. Yeah, like, avoiding it is this person's, like, MO, because they can't sit with their shame. Like, that's too uncomfortable for them. I'm not truly ready for commitment. Yeah. And we need to grow separately, which in this context I'm going to take as like, you've outgrown me and I don't want to grow. Look, like, this person feels like not a fuck boy. I feel like they're older than that. A fuck man. And truly, if you know, well, you're here and I'm going to give you my advice. This person seems like they're stagnant and they're not going to grow. And I feel like it's apparent to them that you want to grow. But it's too triggering to be around you, because as you grow, you are holding up a mirror to this person for all of the ways that they're not growing. And they don't want to be around something that triggering. Like, they're extremely avoidant and they're terrified of themselves. Like, they have a lot of shame, like a lot of inner shame. And if this is a connection where, like, they've honestly, I could see this being quite like verbally abusive in some cases. Like, I just want to let you know, like, my heart is with you right now. I'm so sorry if you've gone through something like that. You are not deserving of that. Especially, like, if you've been punished because you're trying to improve yourself. Like, honey, you are doing the work, and the best thing you can do is to separate yourself from this person. Okay, let's grab some advice from you. So, Spirit, what advice do you have for beautiful pile 2s? Sign. If you were looking for a sign, here it is. Like, this is a sign that you are transforming, that you are growing, that is a beautiful thing. Cultivate your self-worth. Like, you are a beautiful person. And I feel like you're taking the steps to understand yourself, and spirit is like seriously like fucking clapping, cheering for you. Like they're like, you're all that in a bag of chips, and like, here's your sign, like you are on track. And this person is like not healthy for you. Okay. And honestly, they want to say, like, it's not even about this person. Like, it's about you. You're on your journey. And spirit really wants you to focus on you. Like, I don't know. Okay. They're like, fuck everybody else. Like, you know what I mean? You know, like, it's not about this person. Like, this person was in your life for a season to push you in this direction, to get you closer and connected to yourself. And they are just like so ready for you. Okay, spirit, anything else? Full moon, harvest the fruits of your hard work. Hell yeah. And let's grab one more. You are ready, make your masterpiece. I think you're farther along in your journey than you give yourself credit for. And I'm wondering if you have like maybe like a sense of fear about like entering another connection or letting this go. And spirit is saying, like, it is okay to shed things, to let light into your life, to give yourself space and room to grow. Like, you have been working really hard, and the thing is, like, as you grow and transform and become another person, like, you will make different decisions, and you will attract different people. And so they're kind of saying, like, when you're ready, like, we're ready. You know, like, this life is about the life that you want to build for yourself. Like, you have free will. I know I kind of like dumped on this person. I'm not the most impartial reader. You'll realize that if you watch some of my videos. Like, but you get to make your choices for good and for bad, right? Like, and I'm not going to assign good or bad to a choice to stay with this person or leave. It's like, your life is your masterpiece. You have free will to make any choice that you want. And they want you to know, like, you get to decide what you want in your life and what you want to let go. This is your masterpiece. And this is like your sign to make those moves. Like, whatever they look like, create your dream life. And as you create that, like, you are going to harvest the fruits of your hard work and of your decisions. And as you expand and learn more about yourself, like, your life is going to grow in really beautiful ways around you. So this is all I have for you, my beautiful Palo 2s. Thank you for hanging out with me. You are so special. Just know that, like, the universe has your back. If this reading resonated with you, please like, comment, subscribe. That really helps me grow my channel. And I would love to have you here. Above all, keep your little heart safe, and I hope you'll see me in another reading. Okay, bye. Hi, cuties. If you picked this lapis lazuli stone, then this is your reading, my Palo 3s. Okay, we're going to move the tarot off to the side, and I have pre-shuffled some oracles. Before we get started, I'm going to be reading in a person A and B type format. Person A will be your person. B is going to be you. That's typically how I read. There has been a little bit of mirroring across these piles, so if I'm talking about one side and it kind of fits the other, definitely keep that in mind. I also am going to be pretty honest, so keep that in mind. Some things might resonate, some things might not. This is a general reading, so only take what works for you. Okay, so for our central energies, we have 8 holding together and 39 temporary obstacles. These are 2 really beautiful cards. Like, can we just appreciate the beauty of these 2 right now? And then we have reflection right after talking about mirroring. So And then for person A, we have the Maiden in reverse. We have Gifts to the Portal and Dependency, and Moth to a Flame. And then for person B, we have the Nectar in reverse, and we have the Fault Line, the Heart Eater, and Labyrinth. So already, like, I'm seeing a significant amount of mirroring just in the cards across you and your person. If you look at the Nectar and the Maiden, we have that kind of like peachy, pinky color. This may be, for my little girlies, like an LGBTQ connection. Hi. And yeah, like we have dependency. This like little friend is like eating a heart, and then we have the Heart Eater on this side as well. Reflection, even in these like holding together and temporary obstacles, like there's just like a lot of like flowing water down. And they kind of seem like similar color palettes, although this is a little bit more muted. I feel like this is a connection that is very meaningful to both of you. But it has not been the easiest road to get to the point where you're at. Both the Maiden and the Nectar are pretty like sweet energies. And I feel like more on the innocent side. Like I'm almost feeling like this feels almost like first love or like first true love. And if you're two little girlies, like maybe this is like the first connection that you've really like explored your sexuality in that way. But there's something in the way that you interact that's like really undeniable between the two of you, but also extremely confusing. Like it feels like, I was just gonna say, like it feels like being underwater. Like this card is water above, mountain below, and it's reminding me about the mountain in the archetypes deck, where like people can make a mistake that the riches are found at the top of the mountain, you know, like climbing Mount Everest or something like that. But like really, like the riches are deep within the earth. Like that's where you like mine and find gold. And it feels like this connection has really brought out some extremely like beautiful aspects between the two of you, but it's also brought out like the fault lines. There seems to be like deep wounds in kind of the divine feminine in both sides. And I think this person is viewing this connection like they're not willing to let it go. And they're kind of viewing these obstacles as something that the two of you can overcome. And I feel like they kind of have this like really like unshakable like reverence for the connection, faith in it. Like they're in it for the long haul. I do think that there is also fear there. Like I also see this reflection as like fear and faith, that maybe you're facing struggles that you can't overcome. I think that is like an undercurrent for this person. When we talk about the mirroring here, like, and the reason why I feel like this person has like a lot of faith as well, like we have the dependency card, and dependency can talk about codependency and kind of unhealthy coping mechanisms in love, putting too much on the other person. But there's also this chain, and there's this desperate desire to break the chain and to bring balance and restore equilibrium. And there's also gifts to the portal. And I guess this isn't a heart, it's a little apple, like, but gifts to the portal is like not knowing what you're moving towards, but kind of like putting faith in the universe and expecting, like just having like a belief, a deep expectation that something is like going to come of it. And also like the number on the card is like 25. There's some like mirroring in that as well. I feel like this person wants to work at this. They feel extremely drawn to you. They almost feel like you're like two halves of a whole. But they also understand that that is not necessarily the most healthy way to view the divide between the two of you. Like, I feel like sometimes they really struggle, and this might be like because they kind of have like a romantic way of thinking, or just like a little bit of like inexperience. It does feel like first love, that kind of like dreamy state. Like, I feel like they don't know where like the healthy boundary is to kind of like set in the relationship. And so like temporary obstacles can also talk about obstacles and problems like rising up in order for you to grow. And I feel like there's this desire for growth within this connection, and for growth between you and your person. Like they want you to like be this unified energy and to grow together and be able to kind of establish healthy boundaries, so that you can move forward, so that you can stay together. But there is this underlying fear that there's some sort of like distortion in the connection where those lines aren't 100% clear. And when they're thinking about you, like there is this kind of like almost mirrored, even if you look at these cards, there's like a hand, there's roses, they're the same colors, like they feel so close to you that they almost feel like it is a fault within the connection. And for some of you, my pile threes, I think this person feels like there are some confusing elements to the connection, and I think they both, or like I think they think both of you have a lot of room to grow in your own personal development. And I think that's why like there is this like very deep desire to grow together. Because with Labyrinth, I feel like they don't always have a good view of their responsibility in situations. I think they struggle with boundaries and maybe like being like over optimistic sometimes. And I think from on your end, like I think that they wonder if like this connection is hurting you, like if it's something that is like almost like a little bit self-destructive in a certain way because of these kind of like shaky lines, because things aren't clear, because it does feel a bit like drowning or falling into an abyss. Like the heart eater can talk about like sometimes you have to eat your own heart, like for your own good. You know, like cutting off toxic relationships. But like you can't be in this energy for too long, like, because there's a lot of like positive movement that can come from destruction like that. But if it's taken too far, then it can potentially like be damaging. And so this is part of their underlying fear, where they don't know like where that line begins and ends. And I think they worry that the confusing and kind of consuming energies in this connection, like there's an option for you to grow together and kind of like remove these obstacles and mature. And there's also a potential for this connection to really deeply hurt the two of you. And I think that's like the divide right now. That's kind of like the line that they're trying to straddle, is like how do we work through this? Because there is like this like emphasis on teamwork in this pile, where they want to do this as a team. Like they want to reach out to you. They want to get on the same page. But they are worried that like because of where you're at as people, like you may not be able to grow together. Like there is that like potential for really hurting each other. There is like such deep, beautiful love here. Like I want to call that out, because I know that this is kind of like hard and it feels really painful. And this person just like loves you so much. And I think the last thing that they want to do is like watch you eat your own heart over them. Like they want to see you grow and like have all the sweetness in the world, like all the sweetness in the world. And they worry about that a lot. Okay, if this sounds like your pile, let's move on to tarot. If this does not sound like your pile, I would definitely pick pile 1 or 2, or there might be a message in a different reading. I just got like very emotional. There are a lot of emotions in this pile. They're so sweet though. Okay, my beautiful pile 3s. How is your person thinking about this connection? What are their thoughts? The Queen of Wands reversed. Whoa, that was too much. We're going to take the 8 of Cups. What are they thinking when it comes to this connection? The Ace of Cups in reverse. I feel like they're feeling like your love can potentially drown you. Death. The 8 of Pentacles, and we will take this as a clarifier, the 6 of Pentacles. Yeah, and the 6 of Pentacles can talk about codependency as well. Like an inability to distinguish the lines between give and take, between me and you. Kind of like an imbalance there. Okay, let's talk about their feelings. Let's get their feelings, and then I'll start chatting. Okay, 10 of Wands, 3 of Cups, Cups in reverse. I just heard so much water under the bridge. King of Cups. Oh, and we have the Queen of Cups. Oh, BBs. Look at the back of the deck energy too, the Hierophant. This person is really like praying for changes. For some of you, you're going to know if this is the case. There may have been like a third party influence at one point in time that really highlighted the fault lines in this connection, and kind of forced you to like regroup. It may have forced kind of a temporary ending. If that doesn't resonate for you, then I think this Queen of Wands is like this person reflecting on the distortion in their kind of feminine energy, like whether that is from relationships that they currently have, or maybe like a mother figure in both of your lives. Like there's a lot of emphasis on like healing feminine energy for both of you. And so I think that is kind of like top of mind. Like that is something that this person is like aware of on a certain level. They're really looking for growth. Like they know that, like we have the Eight of Cups and then the Ace of Cups in reverse. Like in this connection, they cannot get to Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment, and 10 of Cups after that with the way that things are going right now. And there's like a desire to work on things and to stay together. But I think this person is really struggling to identify what specifically they need to kind of address within themselves. And then also trying to figure out if like that is something that is your goal too. Like I think that they hope so, but I also do think that they recognize that this has been so, there's so much water under the bridge here, like with the Ace of Cups and the Six of Cups in reverse, like so much water under the bridge. So many things have happened in this connection. That they're really not sure that like, even if they put in their heart and soul, they're not sure that they could actually like fix what's broken. Is so, my heart is like breaking with you right now. Like when it comes to their feelings, like they're extremely overburdened by their feelings, especially knowing that there's been some sort of like external force or impact, like whether that was another person or just like the feminine in their life. Like they're shouldering the weight of that. And there's this desire to like really go back to the beginning, go back to when it was fresh. Like it's really interesting in this card, like the Three of Cups, like all of these cats are like masquerading as different colors. Like this is a white cat in a black robe, and then these are black cats in white robes. Like I feel like this person, like through the struggles in this connection, has changed and has been like made more aware of who they are and kind of how they are. and they can't go back to that like light beginning. Like it has to be some sort of different type of renewal. Like they don't feel, it's not the emotions that they don't feel the same, it's like them as a person. They don't feel the same as when this started. But at the core of it, like, they see you as their match. Like the two of you are the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups. And I think this also highlights like the need for healing within the divine feminine and like more balance in the connection, because regardless of gender, like a healthy connection has kind of a balance of these two different traits. And when one of that is out of whack, like there are like different characteristics for a divine masculine out of balance. You know, like both divine masculine and divine feminine can be like very controlling. I would say like maybe divine masculine goes to more controlling, like divine feminine goes to more manipulative. But it feels like the two of you have really like tugged on each other's heartstrings, and like if there was a third party, like that might have been part of it, you know, like as kind of a manipulation tactic. What's also being highlighted is like the Hierophant in reverse, like it could be pointing to kind of like a I don't know, it feels to me like not like the traditional Hierophant out of like in reverse. It feels like they feel like you're the Queen and King of Cups. But something about the connection, like as it stands right now, like you can't get to the kind of like traditional balanced relationship that this person really wants, like wants with all their heart. And I think that there like maybe some sort of conflict right now as well between the two of you into what like a successful relationship looks like. Like I don't see this as like necessarily like norms, although that could like, if you're two girlies, like that could like play into that. Like maybe there's a pressure from family to kind of like conform. But I feel like there's some sort of conflict over what a long-term relationship and what a successful long-term relationship would look like when I look at this. It's like, how do we get to the altar? And I don't normally see the Hierophant as just like a straight up marriage card. But it just seems like there's some sort of conflict in the identification of like healthy and unhealthy coping mechanisms here. And the work necessary like that's needed to put into the connection to actually get it on track to be something long-term and stable and successful. And I think this is what this person is like really like mulling in their head about. Like this feels like they are like really consumed about it. Like this has the potential for like lifetime partnership vibes, but the way we're going about it right now is so unhealthy and so damaging to each other. And like all I want to do is figure out how to overcome these obstacles and stay together. But I'm scared. I'm scared that too much has happened. There's been too much damage to both of us, and like we don't know how to navigate this connection into something stable, long-term, and healthy. Okay, let's grab some channeled messages for y'all. Okay, pile 3. What would your person say to you if they could say anything? We have, I'm working on being deserving of your love. Yeah. I'm not truly ready for commitment. This is that energy of like them just knowing that like so much work needs to be done in order to like get to that traditional ending. I'm afraid you won't love me if I'm honest about who I am. You are the most beautiful person. I'm becoming aware of my own divinity. Yeah. This person is like becoming aware of like who they are, but like also their inexperience and what needs to change in order for them to actually be able to like exist in a connection like this and have it be healthy. And like, I just feel like there's so much hurt here. And then I hope we'll meet again. Like this person really does view you as like partnership material. But I think like their focus right now like really is like on self-growth. And it might be like, there might be kind of like two camps here. There, like some of you may be in contact and still trying to kind of like work out what's happened and how to kind of like bounce back from it. And there may be some of you where like this person is more focused on their growth right now so that potentially they can come back and like exist in this in a healthier way. I also kind of want to pull one of these cards too. Okay, we have a pot trying to find its lid in the bedding department and goddess energy. And spilled milk is on the top. Yeah, like this person knows that there's like such a strong connection between the two of you, but this pot trying to find its lid in the bedding department, like it kind of, for me, it comes from a saying where like every pot has a lid. There's also like, I think there's a variation of that, like every broken pot has its lid. And I think that this person is just really realizing that like if they want this to work, they need to start working on themselves. Like they're looking for comfort and attention and like They're just looking for external things in the wrong places. And they need to like know themselves better and get to learn like discover boundaries. Like, I'm a pot, I'm gonna go to the kitchen section and I'm gonna find a lid. Like, I'm not gonna go into the bedding department. Like, that's not where I'm gonna find my satisfaction and my happiness. And I feel like they're like really struggling to take that step and to really like look within and fix those things. And this connection has really like highlighted through all of the spilled milk that needs to happen. Okay, I'm gonna grab some pieces of advice for you if I can find my deck. Actually, we're gonna go in the African Gods Oracle for this one. That's what I'm feeling. Spirit, what advice So just cutting the deck, we have Ofun. There are times to seed and there are times to flourish. Yeah, I feel like this person is going through a seeding time where they're really trying to like set the stage for them to grow. Spirit, what advice do you have for pile 3? Okay, we have OD. To persist when everything or everyone else would give up is the road to success. So baby, I know this has been mostly about your person's feelings and how they view the connection. This is mirrored energy across the connection. So I would hazard a guess that you're kind of feeling a lot of this as well. Spirit is really highlighting like, you're going to find your partnership and you're going to find your love. And whether it's this connection or it's another connection, this connection has given you the roadmap to start your personal growth or to continue on that path. Like, again, it does feel like kind of like younger love, but it could have just been like a very intense connection. And you're going to be successful. Like, you've been given that roadmap. So Spirit is saying, go for it. Like, go within. Start understanding yourself. Like, Labyrinth was on your side, like, and this pile honestly might have been flipped because the energy was so mirrored, but you're going to find your calling, you're going to find your purpose, like, and you're really going to find that by going within and by taking, you know, the pain and the lessons you got from this connection and making the most of it and continuing. Like, this card is like truly about like just persevering in the face of whatever life throws at you and having that perspective of, you know, this is happening for me, not to me. And if you keep that in your mind, like, and use this as a roadmap for growth, like, you're going to be successful. You're going to find that partnership that you're looking for. So this is all I have for you. This was a really, like, this felt like very hard, but there's so much love in this pile. Like, you are so deserving of love, and especially of love from yourself. So remember that, like, no one's going to have your back or love you as fiercely as you. And the more you love yourself, the more love you're going to get from everywhere around you. So if this resonated, please like, comment, subscribe. That really helps me grow my channel. Thank you again so much for being here. I'm so grateful to have you here. Above all, protect your little heart, and I will see you again in another reading. Okay, bye.